Eli sat on the edge of the landing platform, his legs dangling over the edge as he watched the twin suns sink behind the horizon. The colony of Aurora Prime glowed softly in the twilight, a scattering of metal domes and glass towers surrounded by the pale red sands of the desert planet. He tugged nervously at the hem of his worn jacket. Tonight was different. Tonight, his best friend Jonas would take his first solo mission beyond the colony's safe zones. Eli had seen Jonas pilot drones and scout ships before, but always with a partner or under the watchful eye of the colony's instructors. This time, he was going alone. The thought made Eli's stomach twist in knots. He wanted to act brave, but it was hard to hide the anxiety when his friend climbed into the sleek scout ship that gleamed under the twin suns' fading light. "Hey, Eli," Jonas said, grinning over his shoulder. "Don't wait up for me tonight. I might be out longer than planned." Eli nodded, trying to sound confident. "Sure, just come back safe, okay?" Jonas chuckled. "Always do." He waved and then disappeared into the cockpit. The hatch hissed shut. Eli exhaled slowly, alone now. He turned back toward the colony and saw Leora, Jonas's mother, walking toward him. She was a tall woman with short-cropped hair, eyes that seemed to hold centuries of experience, and a calm presence that made Eli feel both safe and nervous at the same time. She stopped a few feet away and studied him. "Eli," she said softly. Her voice had a weight to it, like she was saying more than the words could carry. "Tonight, I'm more than just a mom." Eli blinked. The words hung in the air. He opened his mouth to ask what she meant, but Leora only gave a small smile and looked out at the stars beginning to twinkle above. "Just be ready," she said finally. Then she turned and walked back toward the command center. Eli frowned. She was always a little mysterious, but tonight her words felt heavier than usual. He shook his head, trying to push away the unease. Maybe it was just a joke, or maybe she was worried about Jonas. Either way, he had nothing to do but wait. The colony was quiet tonight, unusually quiet. Most people had gone to the central dome for the evening meal, leaving Eli alone on the platform. The only sounds were the distant hum of solar panels, the soft whistle of wind over the domes, and the occasional call of a nocturnal sandbird. He leaned back on his hands and watched as Jonas's scout ship lifted off. Its engines glowed a soft blue, and within moments it was a small dot against the darkening sky. Eli's chest tightened. He had always dreamed of adventure, of exploring the planets beyond Aurora Prime. But now that the moment was here, he felt a pang of fear. What if something went wrong? What if Jonas didn't come back? A sudden vibration beneath his feet made him jump. He looked down and saw the faint glow of a holographic screen projecting from the platform. It was the colony's communication monitor, usually reserved for emergency alerts. The screen flickered, and a series of strange symbols appeared, followed by a pulsing signal. Eli frowned. He had never seen this before. Curious, he tapped the screen. A map of the outer colonies appeared, with a blinking red dot far beyond their normal routes. A warning flashed beneath it. Unidentified energy surge detected. "What?" Eli muttered. His heart raced. He didn't understand what it meant, but it didn't look good. At that moment, Leora returned, moving quickly yet silently across the platform. She looked at the screen and her face hardened. "Eli," she said, her voice steady but urgent, "I need you to listen carefully. Something is happening outside the colony. I don't know exactly what it is yet, but it's not natural, and it's moving fast." Eli swallowed hard. "Outside the colony? Like, beyond the safe zone?" "Yes," she said, nodding. "I'm going to take care of it, but I can't do it alone. You need to help me if things get dangerous." "Me?" Eli's voice cracked. "I don't know anything about whatever this is." Leora smiled faintly, almost teasingly. You know more than you think. Humans are adaptable, quick thinkers, courageous. I've seen it many times. Tonight, you'll see it too. Eli's stomach flipped. He didn't feel courageous, not even a little, but the certainty in her voice made him want to try. First, Leora said, leading him to a small hidden chamber beneath the platform. You need to see this. Inside, the room was dimly lit, with strange machines and equipment lining the walls. In the center stood an exosuit, sleek, silver, and bristling with tech Eli had only seen in holovids. This, Leora said, placing a hand on the suit, was mine when I was part of the Planetary Defense Force. It's yours tonight if needed, but more importantly, it's a symbol. Humans are more than we seem. We adapt, we survive, and we fight when others cannot. Eli stared at the suit. He felt a mix of awe and fear. I don't know if I can do this, he admitted quietly. You can, Leora said simply. You have to. For Jonas, for the colony, for all of us. The distant hum of the scout ship's engines reminded Eli of Jonas, out there somewhere in the unknown. He nodded slowly, taking a deep breath. Okay, I'll try. Good, Leora said. She guided him to a smaller control console beside the exosuit. First, you'll monitor the energy surge. We need to understand it before it reaches the colony. Then, if it comes closer, we'll intercept. Are you ready? Eli nodded again, feeling a strange mix of fear and excitement. He had always wanted adventure, and now adventure had found him. Outside, the twin suns had set completely, leaving the colony bathed in starlight. The desert sands shimmered faintly under the glow of Aurora Prime's protective dome. The blinking red dot on the holographic map pulsed faster. Eli tapped a few controls on the console, watching streams of alien readings fill the screen. The energy surge wasn't just large, it was intelligent, moving in patterns no human technology had predicted. His pulse quickened. Eli, Leora said, her eyes sharp, remember what I said. Humans are unpredictable. That is our strength. Trust your instincts, think fast, adapt. Yes, he said, gripping the console. His hands were sweaty, but his mind was focused. The colony's alarms began to hum softly, a warning that the energy surge was getting closer. Eli felt his heart race. This was no longer a drill, no longer a holovid simulation. This was real, and through it all, he remembered Leora's words. Tonight, I'm more than just a mom. He didn't fully understand what she meant, but he sensed that whatever happened tonight, she would be extraordinary, and that humans, like her, like him, could rise to meet challenges no one else could. As the stars above shimmered and the distant horizon glowed with the first signs of the approaching anomaly, Eli took a deep breath and prepared for the night ahead. Adventure had come. Danger was real, and the world, it seemed, was about to show him what it truly meant to be human. The night air was cold against Eli's face as he stayed glued to the holographic console. The red dot on the map had grown larger, moving steadily toward Aurora Prime. He could feel the tension in his chest rising with every pulse of the signal. He had never experienced anything like this before. Leora adjusted her exosuit, the silver metal glinting in the dim lights of the control room. We need to move fast, she said calmly, though her eyes were sharp and focused. This, whatever it is not just a storm or a meteor. It has patterns, intelligence. Eli frowned. Intelligence? You mean it's alive? In a way, Leora replied. Not life as we know it, but it reacts, plans, hunts. That's why humans are needed, because we can think outside the patterns. We can do things machines, or things like this, cannot predict. Eli swallowed hard. His hands were still shaking slightly. And Jonas, he's out there, alone. Leora's face softened for a moment. I know. That's why I have to intercept this. Tonight, it's not just about me or you. It's about every person in this colony. And Jonas. The exosuit hummed faintly, as if alive. Leora tapped her arm, and a heads-up display lit up in front of her eyes. She gestured for Eli to come closer. I need you to track its movements. Watch how it approaches. Notice anything unusual. That's where humans come in. We see patterns where no algorithm can. You ready? Eli nodded. He had to be. There was no other choice. He leaned over the console, studying the streams of energy data flowing across the holographic screen. The pulse of the signal seemed almost rhythmic, like a heartbeat. Each wave sent tremors through the colony's shields. If it continued, the shields could fail in minutes. Eli, Leora said, pointing at the map, look here. Notice how the energy changes when it moves around natural obstacles? That's not random, that's intelligence. We have to anticipate its next move before it reaches the colony. Eli squinted at the patterns. It's like it's learning. Every time it hits a shield, it adjusts. Faster, smarter. Exactly, Leora said. And that's why humans are valuable. Machines and alien forces alike can be predictable. But we're not. Our minds, our creativity, our courage, those are weapons they cannot calculate. The ground beneath the control room rumbled softly. Dust fell from the ceiling. Eli jumped, eyes wide. Is that? Yes, Leora said, her voice calm. That's the first wave of its energy interference. If we're not careful, it could destabilize the colony's outer domes. Eli's pulse raced. He tapped the console furiously, trying to follow the red dot as it moved faster now. Leora's movements were fluid as she activated the exosuit fully, the suit's systems whirring and lights flashing across her body. You'll stay here, she said. Monitor everything and call out anything unusual. I'll intercept it, but I'll need your eyes. Understand? Yes, Eli said. He realized that for the first time in his life, he wasn't just a bystander. He had a role, a responsibility. Leora activated a small hover unit in the hangar bay. She climbed onto it, the exosuit adjusting automatically to her movements. The unit lifted smoothly into the night sky, leaving Eli behind on the platform, the colony glowing softly beneath him. Eli's hands were sweaty as he continued to watch the data. Every pulse of the energy wave was sharper, more erratic. But he remembered Leora's words. Humans are unpredictable, and that is our strength. He leaned closer, squinting at the monitor. Wait. It's repeating a pattern, but there's a gap here. It's avoiding something. He tapped the console, running simulations. The alien energy surge was intelligent, yes, but it was still reactive, and reactions could be anticipated. Suddenly, a new alert appeared. A small blip far from the main signal. It was moving toward the colony, faster than the rest. Eli's heart skipped a beat. Leora! He shouted, though she was already far away. There's something else. Another energy pulse heading straight for the water purification dome. Far above, Leora's sensors picked it up instantly. She adjusted the hover unit's trajectory. Got it! Hold on, Eli. I'm intercepting. Eli's voice shook as he watched. Be careful. It's huge. The small blip of energy grew into a shimmering sphere, crackling with electric blue light. It struck the outer dome with a deafening pulse, and the protective shields flickered under the impact. Dust and sparks filled the air. Leora's exosuit glowed brightly as she pushed forward, using the suit's energy shields to absorb the brunt of the attack. Sparks flew, and the ground shook beneath the colony. Eli felt a wave of fear, but also admiration. Leora was moving with a precision and bravery he had never seen before. You're incredible, Eli whispered. She's amazing. The sphere pulsed again, adapting to Leora's movements. But Eli noticed something. Its pattern repeated every 3 pulses. He quickly adjusted the console's projection. predicting its next strike. "Leora, 3 o'clock! Brace for the next pulse!" he shouted. Leora reacted immediately, shifting the hover unit to the predicted spot. The sphere collided with the shields, and this time, the energy dissipated harmlessly into the night. Eli's hands trembled with excitement. "It worked! I did that!" "You did, Eli?" Leora's voice came through the comm. "You saw the pattern. You anticipated. That's the power of humans. Machines and aliens cannot do that. Only we can think, adapt, and survive." Eli felt a surge of pride. He was contributing. He was making a difference. But before he could relax, the console beeped again. A larger wave of energy was approaching, faster and more erratic than before. This one wasn't testing the colony. It was attacking. Leora's voice was calm but firm. "Eli, prepare the secondary defenses. I'll need you to assist remotely. You know what to do." "Yes," Eli said, swallowing hard. He tapped into the control panels, activating the colony's automated turrets and energy dampeners. The red dot on the map moved faster, almost skipping steps. The colony trembled as the surge hit the shields. Eli's hands moved quickly, adjusting the turret's aim and energy outputs. The shields flickered, sparks flying, but they held. He felt adrenaline pumping through his veins. He was scared, yes, but he was focused. And he realized that humans, their courage, adaptability, and quick thinking, were the colony's true strength. High above, Leora dodged another pulse of energy, gliding across the air with grace. She sent a quick glance down at Eli's readings. "Good work, Eli. Keep tracking the gaps. That's how we'll survive this." Eli nodded, eyes glued to the console. He noticed a subtle fluctuation in the energy pulses, an irregularity in the pattern. "Leora, it's weakening here at the northern perimeter." "Copy that," she said. "I'm moving in to exploit it." With a daring maneuver, Leora directed her hover unit to intercept the pulse directly. Sparks erupted around her as the energy wave collided with the exosuit's shields. She adjusted the energy output, redirecting the force away from the colony's main structures. Eli watched in awe. She's controlling it. She's really controlling it." "Yes," Leora said, voice steady despite the chaos. "Humans are unpredictable. That's our strength, and tonight you're seeing it in action. Not just me, but all of us." The energy surge began to break apart, its pulses becoming uneven and slower. The alien intelligence was reacting to the humans, adapting, but humans were reacting faster, thinking faster, acting faster. Finally, the last pulse struck the outer shields, fizzled, and disappeared into the night sky. The colony trembled, but remained intact. Eli exhaled deeply, his knees weak from relief. Leora landed the hover unit back on the platform, removing her helmet. She looked tired, but triumphant. "It's over, for now." Eli ran up to her, eyes wide. "That was incredible! You saved the colony!" Leora smiled softly. "We saved it. You helped too, Eli. Never forget that. Humans are more than they seem. Courage, creativity, adaptability, that's what makes us strong. Tonight, you saw it, and tomorrow you'll remember it." Eli nodded, heart still racing. He finally understood what she had meant when she whispered, "Tonight, I'm more than just a mom." She was more than a mother. She was a protector, a hero, a symbol of what humans could achieve. And in some small way, he had been a part of it too. The night sky above Aurora Prime sparkled with stars. The colony was safe. And Eli knew that humanity, his friends, his family, and even himself, was capable of far more than he had ever imagined. The colony of Aurora Prime was quiet again, but the silence felt tense, like the calm before another storm. Eli could still feel the adrenaline from the night's attack pulsing through him. He had never imagined he could make a difference, yet tonight he had. And now, as he watched Leora prepare her next move, he realized the real challenge was just beginning. Leora adjusted the exosuit, checking every system. The glow of the suit reflected in her eyes, giving her an almost otherworldly look. "Eli," she said, "the energy surge wasn't just a test. It was a probe. Something or someone sent it. And now it's time we find out who." Eli frowned. "Find out who? You mean the aliens?" "Yes," Leora said firmly. "But it's not a battle of strength alone. It's a battle of strategy. And that's why humans are needed. We are unpredictable. That is our advantage." Eli's stomach twisted. He had survived the first wave from the safety of the platform, but this was something different. He was going with her. "You're coming with me," Leora said, reading his thoughts. "You tracked the energy waves, understood the patterns. That knowledge is valuable. You'll be my eyes on the field and my partner in strategy." Eli nodded, swallowing hard. He was terrified, but also ready. He had learned tonight that courage wasn't the absence of fear. It was acting in spite of it. They approached a hangar bay where a sleek black stealth shuttle waited. Its surface shimmered with adaptive camouflage technology, designed to make it nearly invisible to alien sensors. Leora climbed in, followed by Eli. The shuttle hummed to life, lifting smoothly into the sky. Outside, the desert stretched endlessly, a sea of red sand under the starlit sky. Eli leaned against the console, watching the faint pulse of energy waves in the distance. The main surge had disappeared, but smaller traces of it flickered across the map. They were being guided somewhere. "Do you see that?" Eli asked, pointing to a cluster of lights on the far horizon. "Those pulses, they're converging there." Leora's eyes narrowed. "Yes, that's their hub. Whatever sent the energy waves is there, and whatever it is, it's expecting us." The shuttle glided silently over the dunes, finally approaching a jagged cliffside. A hidden entrance revealed itself in the rock, a cave system large enough to hold the alien hub. The pulses of energy flickered and shifted as they entered the cave, almost like a living thing reacting to their presence. Eli's heart pounded. "It's alive, isn't it?" "In a way," Leora replied. "Not alive like us, but it reacts. That's why humans are so effective. We can think, adapt, and create solutions in ways it cannot predict." The shuttle landed silently on a ledge inside the cave. The walls were lined with glowing crystals that pulsed softly with energy, the source of the alien signal. Eli marveled at them. The colors shifted like liquid light, flowing through the cave like veins. Leora activated her exosuit's scanners. "These crystals amplify the energy waves. If we can disrupt them, we can weaken the alien force. But it won't be easy. The energy field is volatile. One wrong move and—" "I know," Eli interrupted. "I'll be careful." Leora gave him a small nod. "Good. Follow my lead. Watch the patterns. Think ahead." They moved through the cave carefully, the exosuit's lights illuminating the path. The crystals pulsed in time with the energy waves outside. The air vibrated faintly like a low hum in their bones. Eli felt a thrill of fear and excitement. This was unlike anything he had ever experienced. Suddenly, a surge of energy shot through the cave, knocking them back. Eli stumbled, hitting the ground with a thud. He looked up and saw the crystals flashing violently, reacting to their presence. "Stay calm," Leora shouted, steadying him. "Use your mind, not just your strength. Watch the pattern." Eli closed his eyes for a moment, recalling what he had learned earlier. The energy pulses had gaps, moments when they weakened. If he could anticipate those gaps, they could move forward safely. He opened his eyes and pointed to a cluster of crystals. "There! Wait for the third pulse. Now!" Leora moved swiftly, using the exosuit's energy shield to absorb the blast. Eli followed, ducking behind a stalagmite formation as the energy passed. They advanced in careful steps, timing each movement with the rhythmic pulses. "You're getting the hang of it," Leora said, her voice calm but proud. Eli's heart swelled. He felt like a part of something bigger than himself, part of humanity's strength, part of a team that could face the unknown. They reached a wide chamber deep inside the cave. In the center floated a massive crystalline orb thrumming with blue energy. The pulses radiated outward, like the heartbeat of the alien hub. "That's it," Leora whispered. "The source. If we disrupt that orb, we disrupt their energy waves." Eli studied it, noticing subtle fluctuations in its glow. "I see a pattern," he said. "It weakens every fourth pulse. If we can time it, we can strike without triggering a full blast." Leora nodded. "Exactly. That's why humans are unpredictable. The aliens, or whatever they are, can't calculate this. Only we can act with intuition and creativity." They approached the orb carefully. The air around it shimmered, making it hard to see clearly. Eli felt a twinge of fear. One wrong move could destroy the entire cave, or worse. "Eli," Leora said softly, "I need you to stabilize the energy field from here while I attack the orb directly. Can you do it?" "I'll try," he said, hands shaking slightly as he manipulated the console built into the exosuit. He focused, remembering every lesson from the night before. Humans adapt. Humans survive. Humans succeed. The energy pulses hit the chamber in a steady rhythm. Eli calculated the gaps, activating small dampeners along the walls. Each pulse weakened as it passed through the dampeners, giving Leora the perfect window to act. With precision and courage, Leora surged forward, striking the orb with the exosuit's energy blade. Sparks flew, and the orb shimmered violently. Eli adjusted the dampeners in real time, keeping the pulses manageable. The orb pulsed again, brighter and more erratic than before. Eli's mind raced. He noticed a flaw, a slight delay in its response. "Leora, it's reacting slower. Strike again now." With a swift, precise motion, Leora struck the orb once more. The blue light shattered into fragments, sending shockwaves through the cave. Eli braced himself, feeling the vibrations ripple through the ground. When the dust settled, the orb was gone. The crystals dimmed, their pulses slowing until they were almost imperceptible. The alien hub was silent. Leora turned to Eli, her eyes glowing with triumph. "We did it," she said simply. "Together." Eli's chest swelled with pride. He had faced fear, made decisions under pressure, and contributed to the victory. He realized in that moment that humans were more than just ordinary beings. They were adaptable, courageous, and creative. They were extraordinary. Outside the cave, the desert night was calm again. The energy waves had ceased, and Aurora Prime was safe, for now. Leora removed her helmet and looked at Eli. "You did well tonight. Remember this feeling. Remember what humans can achieve when we work together, when we trust our instincts." Eli nodded, smiling despite the exhaustion. He had learned something valuable, not just about courage but about humanity. They were capable of things beyond imagination, and he had witnessed it firsthand. As they climbed back into the shuttle, Eli glanced at the horizon. Somewhere out there, Jonas was still on his solo mission. But now he knew that no matter what challenges awaited, humans, together, could overcome them. The shuttle lifted off silently, heading back to the colony. Eli felt a new sense of confidence. He had faced the unknown, and he had survived. More importantly, he had discovered something profound. Humans were not ordinary. They were more than titles, more than roles. They were capable of greatness, and tonight he had seen it in action. The shuttle glided silently back toward Aurora Prime, but the calm was deceptive. Eli could still feel the echoes of the alien energy hub vibrating in his chest. He had survived, learned, and grown tonight, but Leora's sharp eyes scanned the horizon with unease. "Something isn't right," she muttered, her voice quiet but tense. The exosuit's sensors picked up a faint pulse, an irregular signal far beyond the cave they had just left. "That orb wasn't the only one. There's a larger network farther out and it's coming online." Eli's heart sank. "So, the battle's not over?" "No," Leora said firmly. "Not by a long shot. We've delayed it, disrupted the hub, but the real threat is still out there. And it's adapting. That's why humans are needed again." "Machines and aliens can calculate patterns, but humans think beyond the rules." Eli nodded. He had felt the truth of her words earlier. Tonight had shown him that courage, creativity, and quick thinking could make the impossible possible. And now, it would be tested again. The shuttle entered the outer desert, where sensors had picked up the new signal. The red pulses on the map were larger, more erratic, and moving with deliberate purpose toward the colony. Eli stared at them, a mix of fear and determination in his chest. "Leora," he said, pointing at the display, "they're moving faster than before, and there are more of them." "Yes," she said, tightening her grip on the shuttle controls. "We're outnumbered, but that's okay. We're unpredictable, Eli. That's our advantage." "They can't calculate what we will do next." They approached a canyon where the energy pulses were strongest. The sky above shimmered faintly with alien energy, casting eerie blue shadows across the red sands. Eli's pulse quickened as they prepared to intercept. "Eli, monitor the gaps again," Leora said. "I'll take the lead. We need to disrupt the main energy stream before it reaches the colony. Timing is everything." "Yes," Eli said, hands moving quickly over the console. He could feel the rhythm of the energy pulses now, anticipating their movement as he had learned. The first pulse hit the canyon walls, sending sparks and small tremors across the ground. Eli held his breath as Leora maneuvered the exosuit with incredible precision, deflecting the energy with the suit's shields. "You're doing great," she called, her voice steady over the comm. "Keep tracking the irregularities. That's where our chance is." Eli focused, eyes scanning the display. He noticed a small fluctuation in the largest pulse, a delay in its pattern. "There!" he shouted. "There's a weak point in the fourth pulse." Leora reacted instantly, darting toward the gap. Sparks flew as the energy collided with her shield. The exosuit systems glowed brightly, absorbing and redirecting the force. Eli adjusted the dampeners, keeping the energy at bay. The pulses grew stronger, but they were predictable now. Eli could see the pattern, anticipate it, and guide Leora's movements. His confidence grew with every successful deflection. He was no longer just a bystander. He was part of the fight. Suddenly, a massive wave of energy erupted from the canyon floor, stronger than any before. Eli's console beeped furiously, warning of system overload. The shuttle trembled and the ground shook beneath them. "Hold on!" Leora shouted, her voice calm despite the chaos. She activated the exosuit's boosters, lifting into the air and dodging the surge with incredible agility. Eli's mind raced. He noticed a subtle lag in the energy flow, another gap. "Now! Strike now!" he shouted. Leora surged forward, her exosuit's energy blade cutting through the pulse with precise timing. Sparks and fragments of energy scattered, and the wave collapsed, weakened. Eli exhaled, feeling a rush of pride. "We did it!" he yelled. "Yes," Leora said, but her eyes were sharp. "Not done yet. That was just one of many. The main source is still out there. We need to move faster." They soared across the desert, following the pulses to a massive plateau where the energy network converged. The structure was alien, crystalline, and humming with power. It stretched high into the sky, radiating energy in every direction. Eli's eyes widened at the sight. "That's it," Leora whispered. "The central hub. Take it down, and we disrupt the entire network." Eli's fingers flew over the console. He could see weak points, small fluctuations in the energy streams feeding the hub. "There!" he shouted. "At the northern channel! It's unstable!" Leora's eyes lit up. "Good! I'll take it from here." She activated the exosuit's thrusters, launching herself toward the northern channel. Sparks flew as the energy tried to repel her, but she moved with unmatched precision. Eli guided the dampeners, keeping the energy pulses manageable. He felt a rush of exhilaration. He had never imagined he could be part of something so important, so dangerous, and so heroic. The alien hub pulsed violently, almost as if it sensed the threat. Energy surged toward them in a massive wave, threatening to engulf the plateau. Eli's hands moved faster, adjusting the dampeners in real time. "You can do this, Eli!" Leora shouted. "Keep it steady! Timing is everything!" Eli focused, remembering every lesson from the past attacks. He saw the gaps, the irregularities, the moments when the pulses weakened. He synchronized the dampeners, guiding Leora's movements perfectly. With a final surge, Leora struck the hub directly with the energy blade. The crystalline structure shimmered, cracks forming along its surface. The pulses faltered, then collapsed entirely. Eli watched in awe as the hub shattered, fragments scattering across the plateau. The energy waves dissipated, leaving the desert calm once more. Aurora Prime was safe, again. Leora landed beside him, removing her helmet. Her face was tired but triumphant. "We did it," she said simply. Eli's chest swelled with pride. We really did it. The colony. We saved it." "Yes," Leora said, smiling, "and you helped. You saw the patterns, guided the movements, and acted under pressure. That's what makes humans special. Courage, creativity, and quick thinking. Never forget it." Eli nodded, absorbing her words. He had always admired Leora, but tonight he had seen her not just as a mother, but as a hero, a leader, and a symbol of humanity's strength. "Jonas is still out there," Eli said, thinking of his best friend. "He'll return," Leora said firmly. "And when he does, he'll see what humans can do. He'll understand why we survive and why we fight." The shuttle lifted off, heading back to the colony under the light of the twin moons. Eli leaned back, exhausted but exhilarated. He had faced fear, taken responsibility, and discovered the power of human ingenuity. Above the desert, the stars sparkled as if celebrating the victory. Eli knew that humanity's strength lay not just in technology or numbers, but in courage, creativity, and the ability to act where others could not. And tonight, he had witnessed it firsthand. Aurora Prime's twin moons cast a soft silver glow over the colony as Eli and Leora descended from their shuttle. The desert was calm now, the alien energy pulses completely gone. The threat had been stopped, or at least delayed, and the colony's inhabitants were safe. But the air still hummed with tension, a reminder that the universe was vast, mysterious, and full of challenges. Eli stepped down first, feeling the soft crunch of sand beneath his boots. His chest was still racing from the events of the night. He had faced fear, navigated danger, and contributed to saving the colony. And yet, there was one thing that weighed on his mind. "Do you think Jonas is okay?" Eli asked, glancing toward the horizon. His best friend had been on his solo mission while all this chaos unfolded. Leora's expression softened. "He's a skilled pilot, Eli. If anyone can handle the unexpected, it's him. He'll return, and when he does, he'll see what humans are truly capable." Eli nodded, though he couldn't shake the worry. He had learned so much tonight about courage and human ingenuity. But the thought of Jonas facing unknown dangers alone made him uneasy. They walked toward the colony, the lights of the central dome glowing warmly in the distance. Citizens had begun to emerge, their faces reflecting relief and amazement. Word of the energy wave's defeat had already spread, and murmurs of admiration for Leora, and now Eli, followed them wherever they went. "You did well tonight," Leora said, placing a hand on Eli's shoulder. "You saw patterns, thought ahead, and helped keep the colony safe. Remember this feeling, Eli. Remember how humans can rise to challenges that seem impossible." Eli smiled faintly, pride swelling in his chest. I understand now. Humans really are more than we think. We can adapt, survive, and fight back when it matters." Leora nodded. "Exactly. And that's why tonight wasn't just about me. It was about all of us, our courage, our creativity, and our determination." As they approached the central dome, a familiar sound reached their ears, the faint hum of Jonas's scout ship returning. Eli's heart leapt. He turned toward the landing platform, spotting the small ship descending gracefully from the sky. "Jonas!" Eli shouted, running toward the shuttle. The hatch opened, and Jonas stepped out, looking tired but unharmed. "Eli? Leora? What happened here?" His eyes widened as he noticed the dimmed crystals in the desert and the calm but wary crowd of colonists. "You missed quite a night," Eli said, grinning despite the exhaustion. "There was an energy surge, alien, intelligent, and dangerous. But we stopped it. The colony is safe." Jonas's mouth fell open. You stopped it? How? I was out there thinking I'd be the hero tonight." "You were meant to be the scout," Leora said calmly. "But humans don't always follow the plan. That's our strength. Eli saw the patterns, anticipated the pulses, and helped me take down the hub. Together, we did what no machine or alien could predict." Eli felt a rush of pride at her words. He had never thought of himself as heroic, but tonight he had been. He had contributed, and in doing so, he had learned what it truly meant to be human. Jonas looked at him, eyes wide with awe. "Eli, I had no idea. You were amazing. I didn't even know you had it in you." Eli shrugged, trying to hide his excitement. "I just followed what you taught me, and what Leora taught me. Humans, we adapt, we survive, and we fight when it matters." Leora smiled, looking at both boys. "And that, Jonas, is why humans are more than they seem. We are not just pilots, engineers, or citizens. We are thinkers, fighters, and protectors. When the world needs more than ordinary, humans rise." The three of them entered the central dome, where colonists had gathered. Cheers erupted as word spread of the victory. Eli felt a warmth in his chest, not just pride, but connection. Humanity's strength was not just in technology or numbers. It was in people, in courage, creativity, and the willingness to act when it mattered most. As the colony celebrated, Leora leaned down to Eli, her eyes gleaming with pride. "You see, Eli, tonight humans showed what we are capable of, not because we had the strongest weapons or the fastest ships, but because we used our minds, our hearts, and our instincts. That is humanity's greatest weapon." Eli nodded, feeling a sense of purpose he had never experienced before. "I understand now. Humans really are more than we think. We can face anything, together." The night wore on, and the colony began to settle. The desert was quiet, the stars shining like scattered diamonds across the sky. Eli stood on the edge of the central platform, looking at the horizon. He thought of Jonas, safely back, and of Leora, who had shown him the true meaning of courage. He realized that humans were capable of greatness. Ordinary people could do extraordinary things when they trusted their instincts, acted with courage, and worked together. And tonight, he had seen it firsthand. A soft voice broke his thoughts. "Eli," Leora said, standing beside him, "sometimes The world needs more than just a mother, a friend, or a citizen. It needs humans who rise above the ordinary, who act when others hesitate, and who protect what matters most. Eli smiled, understanding fully now. And that's what we did tonight. We rose, we fought, and we won. Leora placed a hand on his shoulder, squeezing it gently. Remember this feeling, Eli. Hold on to it. Humanity's strength is in moments like these when courage meets creativity and ordinary people become heroes. Eli nodded, looking up at the twin moons. The colony was safe, his best friend was back, and the universe had shown him that humans were extraordinary in ways he had never imagined. As they walked back toward the heart of the colony, Eli felt a sense of pride and wonder. He had faced fear, uncertainty, and danger, and emerged stronger, wiser, and ready for whatever challenges the future might bring. Jonas clapped him on the back, laughing. "You really are something, Eli. I guess I have a lot to learn from you." Eli laughed, the tension of the night finally giving way to relief and joy. "We all have. But tonight, we all did our part. And that's what matters." The stars above shone brightly over Aurora Prime, a silent witness to humanity's courage. Eli knew that whatever the universe threw at them next, humans would face it. Not just as survivors, but as thinkers, creators, and protectors. And as he looked at Leora and Jonas, he realized that the lessons of tonight, the bravery, the quick thinking, the human spirit, would stay with him forever. Humanity was more than ordinary. It was extraordinary. And the universe had just been reminded of that fact.